Why Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? Now, this was a question asked of me, and obviously there's a lot of jiu-jitsu videos on this channel. This channel is, a lot of the daily awesome video blogs, as well as some of my 10th Planet stuff, or some of my catch wrestling stuff, and a lot of that grappling that comes into play. And if you're interested in those, I'll include a playlist link up above. But one of the guys in my Men's Development Excellence group, he asked me why jiu-jitsu, and it's kind of funny because there's a ton of guys in that group who train. And it's a complex answer. It's something that cannot be summed up in a video, that can only be summed up by you training. And it's something that, there's a ton of guys who talk about how amazing jiu-jitsu is, and they'll all agree, why don't you just give it 6 months and see what you say. But just really quickly for me, what makes it so useful and what makes it so great is that it's man against man, that you cannot lie, that it's the absolute test of your authenticity. When you lose, you lose. When you win, you win. You sit with it. You get to know the value of winning. Winning isn't some pedestal you stand on, and sometimes you might stand on a pedestal, but winning is really an expression of yourself, an expression of how you interact with people. Winning has nothing to do with what society says winning is, but about who you are as a man in that moment, that day, with that person. Because as everybody knows in jiu-jitsu who trains, is that, hell man, I might win against the guy who's more experienced than me, and then 5 minutes later, lose to a guy who's less experienced than me. And this phenomenon in jiu-jitsu happens all the time. All the time. What a way to keep you honest. What a great, amazing, amazing martial art that tests you in this way. But one of the other things that happens in jiu-jitsu is there's this elitism with jiu-jitsu. And I'm kind of against that, because any martial art that does this, whether that's Thai boxing, for many years I trained Jeet Kune Do from a PFS lineage, Progressive Fighting System lineage, and I might train with Vunak in a couple weeks here. But, that has it too. You cannot lie. You have to be yourself. You get to know the limits of your body. You get to know what fighting means, what true violence is. Not out of rage, not out of anger, not out of this untapped, repression that we've built up in our society, but truly out of what you are in this human experience. And it's an amazing thing. And, also some of the other benefits in jiu-jitsu is you get to know your body, man. You get to know who you are and what your body can do. And myself, I train 2 different styles. I train a gi style, and train at one of the most physically taxing schools in Austin, Texas. That's Paragon. And there I'm ranked as a blue belt. I've trained for almost 7 years now. And then I also train at one of the most injury-free schools, although I've been injured there and other people have been injured. I've been mildly injured, but some other people have been injured in some more intense ways. And that's at 10th Planet Austin. And they're both very different, and there I'm ranked a purple belt. And I've been training that system 2 years, but it, kind of my previous 5 years when starting kind of added to that. But the thing is that in those 2 schools, there's such different styles. And because there's such different styles, they demand a different intensity of me. And in fact, I'm really sore right now. And man, really sore, because I trained 4 hours straight yesterday. I did an hour and a half at Paragon, and then I did 2+ hours at 10th Planet. And man, I basically got my ass handed to me at Paragon. I've been training gi that much, and I got schooled. It was really terrible. It's one of those days where nothing worked. And geez, I felt like walking out of there physically like my body wanted to cry. Not because I had lost, but because I had exerted so much of myself. I had purged my entire depth of self. That school's a tough school. And then drove 15 minutes to 10th Planet. And there they had quite a tough practice there as well. And somebody asked me right after I trained, they said, why'd you do that? And I said, man, because I needed to get it out of my head that I was a failure, because I just went through this experience. And this is why jiu-jitsu is good. This is why every guy should be involved in this, because I had this shitty day, you know, got tapped out over and over again, like powerless, just totally powerless when I was at Paragon. And it was, you walk away from that and you're beat up inside. You're beat up physically, but you're also beat up emotionally and mentally. You get into this mind fuck. And a lot of that's because for the past, you know, 6 months or so, I've been focusing on no-gi, the 10th Planet style. And I wasn't prepared for all the chokes and all the different gi stuff, which, hey, you know, I have 6 years of training in and should be pretty well versed in. But what had happened is I, you know, went to 10th Planet and did the things that I did best. And like I said, the reason why I did that was to get my head screwed back on, you know, because when life is going to beat the shit out of you, and jiu-jitsu is going to beat the shit out of you, and jiu-jitsu beats the shit out of you on a micro level. And a guy that can know how to handle getting the shit beat out of you and then have that transition into life and all of its many problems that it'll show itself to you, dude, that's how we build strength. And people run from that. I've had so many people ask me, what is the most effective thing in men's development? What program is it? Is it, you know, James Marshall's program? Is it my friend Nick Sparks' program? Is it, you know, fucking Tony Robbins' program? All this sort of stuff I hear people always talking about. What is the best program for men's development? And guys that have trained jiu-jitsu will all tell you it's jiu-jitsu. So myself as a men's coach, you know, we do a lot with my groups and so on. And there's obviously a lot of jiu-jitsu guys that are part of my groups. And that's probably because I've been training it for a little while now, which is not that long. My friends have trained much longer than me. But, you know, the reason for it is because it challenges you so much and tests you as a man in such an extreme way. And again, this doesn't discount other martial arts. I don't like the elitism of martial arts in any way, you know, because if you are doing something, in my opinion, that has live sparring, that has reality in it, that can be tested on the streets, and I would not do jiu-jitsu as a way to learn how to street fight. Definitely help you. Its original, you know, the Gracie's original idea was that it was the best fighting system, better than any other martial art. But you know, do something like JKD, or maybe you want to get involved in Krav Maga or something like that for those sorts of things. But I would do JKD if you could find a good Kali JKD school. That's the way to go. In any case, guys, I hope this was helpful. Train, man. I put those videos up on training, on learning jiu-jitsu, on showing you different stuff for a couple reasons. Like, you know, some of it's to show some exposure to some 10th Planet stuff if you're a traditional BJJ guy. Some of it's just to show, like, hey, how awesome this is, how fun it is, how beautiful it is. I'm definitely a sport jiu-jitsu guy. Like I said, I don't do this stuff to go out and fight in the streets. Like I said, I've trained a lot of JKD, which did that. And I don't want to get in a fight, man. I don't want any more concussions. I don't want any more broken teeth, broken hands. You know, I don't want any more concussions. But what I do love is I love training. I love fighting, not because it's violence, but because it's an expression, and it's a part of an expression of man that challenges me as a man, that defines masculinity for me. So if you want that, get out there, go train, check out a couple gyms, you know, do the 2-week trial or whatever they offer, and see how you like it. In any case, I'm out.